Alright, alright. I really don't know where to put my expectations for this. As I was saying before, two players who are really able to bring some interesting things to the table. Music is kind of conflicting right now. This is a clean feed, guys, not my fault. There are two different musics. I know, I'm sorry. Oh, wait, yeah, that's... What? Well, whatever. That is Rion, guys. There is not Prince. Well, I guess I'll try to not confuse myself during these discussing. Well, anyway, we see time starting to go for what is a very standard play. I'm mostly surprised with him not starting off with a heavier marine build. Indeed, it is going to be a Reaper opener just to get a little bit more scouting information. Yeah, that one is Ring. Marine plays Terran? Like, this is definitely Prince. Prince is a Protoss player, Ring is a Terran player. So, yeah, whatever. Yeah, this is Ring watching Prince play. That is innovation. That is innovation. Okay, that is not on the camera. Well, alright, guys. Prince will come eventually. We see the first Reaper out of time, trying to get something done. And, I guess we will have Prince on camera soon enough. Time is starting off with the Reaper aggression, getting a little bit of scouting information. This is very interesting coming from Prince. As I was saying, he's kind of a tactician, kind of the player who brings different strategies. We see a Stargate opener with an Oracle and +1 air weapons. So it is probably going to be some kind of Phoenix build on the side of the Protoss player. Of course, Time doesn't really want to allow his opponent to get the economy he needs to support this kind of build. One alien sent out for scouting purposes, but Time already building up a strong economy behind this and already getting the pieces of the puzzle he needs for bring up some aggression to the table. We see Banshee Cloak on the production tab, which is definitely one way to put some pressure on Prince's shoulder. And oh yeah, we finally have Prince in camera, guys. Yeah, here he is. Beautiful, isn't he? Anyway, Prince sending out this one Oracle, getting already one SCV killed with Pulsar Beam activation, 2 and going to be 3 and probably 4 before he escapes to safety. Oh, that was a little bit of a greedy 5th one. Everyone knows it's 4 SCVs, not 1 more. Otherwise, you're in trouble, and in trouble he was. It's going to be the end of that Oracle. Not that he needs much more air control, but this Oracle would have meant Revelation, which is very needed to counter those Banshees. We don't see any photon cannons. The Robo is just going up right now with just shield batteries to counter these Banshees. You need an Oracle alive with enough energy to drop a Revelation and scout that Banshee coming. Banshee coming from the bottom side of the map, as you can see on the map, of course. While Time already gets a follow-up, Steam gets started, the Banshee gets in the natural, not shield battery yet over here, and it's going to be a couple Protoss kill. Void Race focusing down the Banshee, and Time does not withdraw it. It's going to be 4 Protoss killed. But that is the end. of that bench. A little bit of a misplay from time. And Prince, with +1 air weapons and double target, is going to melt stuff with his Void Rays. Now that he has mob control yet again, he's gonna drop a Revelation to see what's up in time space before sending out his Void Rays. There are 4 Vikings out though. 4 Vikings. So, not an easy way in for those Void Rays. This is a very interesting build on the side of Prince. With a fully beacon, soon to follow, third base safely being saturated by Prince, and probably a 4th one is going to come soon enough once he feels confident with the amount of defensive units. He has more Void Rays on the making, and there is a first target as well. This is a risky play. Observer is gonna catch the army of time moving out, and that is already a pretty strong army. These Void Rays do not fare that great against the bio army that time is building up into. Of course, these tanks are pretty much going to be useless. They can focus down the shield barrier. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stasis board. Of course, there are going to be a bunch of bunkers being built by time to keep his marines alive. Meanwhile, the tank's gonna try to bring the shield batteries down. But I'm not really sure about this. Vikings are gonna catch the Observer, the Oracle moving out. Yet another Oracle is going to be killed. Meanwhile, Flux Veins is being researched for these Void Rays. And of course, Tempests are in the making to break down the siege that time has been building. But it's leapfrogging the tanks, it's leapfrogging the bunkers, it's leapfrogging the missile turrets. This is a crazy siege by time. Void Rays sent forward, but so are the Vikings. Shield batteries kept down, as I was saying, by the tanks. Here's Void Rays trying to bring the fight to these Vikings. Shield battery overcharged soon, going to help. First Tempest is out, trying to get on top of the Vikings, but there are so many Vikings out. The army of Prince dropping down. The prismatic ray overcharge, but no more Void Rays for defense. The Tempests are under attack. Shield batteries are almost out of juice, and these Vikings are bringing the fight to Prince. Time successfully ends this siege, and is going to leapfrog his tanks even further ahead. Risky play by Prince does not pay off. He's going to lose his third Nexus. He has another one. He has built the 4th one. He's starting +2 air weapons, but 3 Tempests do not fare that well against a bunch of Vikings who basically 2-shots him. Now the tanks are getting even closer to the natural, and I think this is going to be GG. There is one Immortal trying to stop these tanks, but it's not going to be enough. Stargate production still going, but time will take game number 1 of this series. Nothing too crazy. Starting off with this second set, we see just the usual probe rust to make sure time needs to spend some of his own APM to get around this probe, at least one of his own SCVs, just kind of paying the price for being scouted, I guess. Prince actually going for cybernetics core before the Nexus, either for a quicker warp tech or just to feel a little bit more safe around these Reaper first from time. One of the few Terran players who still goes for the Reaper first in this matchup, who still likes to get some scouting done with the Reaper, maybe try to get a probe out of the business as well. And of course to deny further scouting and to avoid needing to use another SCV to stop this probe from getting stuff done. Of course the Marine is out, so is the Reaper, just now getting into the natural of Prince, where there will be an Adept ready to greet him. And it's going to be the end of this Reaper actually. little bit of a, I don't say, I would call it cute attempt at outplaying with a Reaper, but in the end, Prince just completes the shade and get the kills. I think it was First Blood. Try to cancel into Robo. Prince this time not going into anything too crazy. It's just going to be probably a Blink Stalker's opener. Nothing too uncommon. I'd say this is probably the best way to play the matchup. And Prince is still keeping up the aggression though, with double adept. He's still being on the map, still forcing time, some more action, some more defensive units. He's forcing out the Cyclone for defensive purposes, which is never something you want to do as much as you want to put some pressure on the Protoss. Of course, that Cyclone can still get some up control later on, can still be very good against Warp Prism play, against Oracle plays, and anything to the likes of it. But in the end, it's just going to be used as of now to lock on onto one of the adepts, kill one, and force the other out of the natural of time. Steam gets started as well as the first tank, and now it's time to get into a macro mid-game stage with Charge being the upgrade of Prince, actually, not Blink. Do you guys remember that one build that was so often done in PvZ with a Warp Prism and a bunch of Zealots, with the Warp Prism still having a million range? I don't remember what the name of that build was attributed to, but I hate that build so much. And I having some serious PTSD about it. That's a lot of Zealots and the Warp Prism going rampage in the main of time. This guy Prince is not randomly called the Tactician. Oh my goodness, that Widowman shot! That didn't happen. Oh my, poor Warp Prism collecting those Zealots, but really going nowhere with them. Widowman instantly locks into the Warp Prism and gets the kill. Of course, that Zealot harassment still did a lot of damage. It was still a pricey one for Prince though. A lot of resources were spent into that. And now, he's finding himself, yes, ahead in workers after the 8 kills he got. But he's not having any sensational tech. He was certainly able to slow down time. That is a fact. But right now, Prince does not have the map control he would like to without Blink being done. And time can certainly go for a drop play, which he's actually doing right now. And a very good observer. Siege on top of the natural. Prince trying to gain back some map control, but Medivac already out, already going to go for a drop in the main, as you can see, flying over there with the Viking flying on the other side. Time dropping into the main, not much to defend over here. Recall is certainly to be issued. Here comes the recall for the Stalkers to defend against this. A bunch of probes already falling, so will a bunch of Stalkers. Not focusing down the Medivac. Deadly mistake by Prince, losing 11 probes and a bunch of Stalkers. That is already deadly, with a Viking dropping on the other base and getting many other probes killed. 11 total, and I guess there was like 5 Stalkers killed as well. First Colossus is out with external thermal lens halfway through, but Prince is definitely not in a commanding position right now. Time readying his attack. It's always a little bit difficult to cast someone who's named Time with a thing in StarCraft 2 named Timing Attack, Because this is a timing attack, guys. By time. And he's now getting his siege units just outside of the fur base of Prince. There is one Colossus without extended thermal lens is going to be easily reached by the army of time. Stealing. Shield battery overcharged. Really gets stuff done. And both the Colossus survive long enough for extended thermal lens to be done. Time sending reinforcements into this attack. But my goodness, Prince definitely able to punish the trigger pull by time. 2 more medivacs ready to strike at another position. This player has such a proactive way of dropping in many different positions and getting so much done. Here Marauders, Widowmines, Marines, all he has in his production, ready to strike into the main, getting a little bit of attention out of Prince. Of course, this is really going nowhere, but on the other hand, the other attack was the real one. Losing both medivacs definitely hurts like a truck, but losing 5 more probes also hurts a lot. Time doubling it down with the unit production. Wants to go for yet another attack with +1 ground weapons, not even halfway through for Prince. Really slow down by that Zealot build in the beginning and really punish for it with very strong drop and Viking multi-prong attack. Alright, it looks like the game kind of slowed down a little bit. With Templar Archives just being down by Prince, Archons are bound to be part of the equation, as well as probably Storm in a little while. But I still see time in a clear advantage. 4 more probes killed. Prince trying to get on the map, trying to get some pressure. The first 2 Arch Templars morphing into an Archon over here, scouted by a scouting Marine. And Time really has a very good idea of what's happening right now. The engagement can start. Planestalkers focusing down the tank with a force field, forcing out a lot of the units from Time. But the army of Time is just straight up stronger, trying to keep the Colossus alive. Is a titanic feat, one which Prince was not able to perform at his best. 1 Colossus certainly survives. 4 SCVs have been killed by the Zealots, but in the other side of the map, 7 probes have been killed by a drop, and now Time is pushing forward with a full might of a Terran army. I don't see any way to come back into this game for Prince, sadly. Time just has more workers, more production, more army, stronger army, more upgrades. He just has more of everything right now, and is collapsing just outside the nature of Prince. The last few hopes of the Protoss are going to be broken. GG gets called, and Time gets a 2-0 victory over Prince.